Right now, at this exact second, the United States military is on the highest state of alert seen in modern history. The alarms are sounding, the aircraft carriers are moving, and the world is holding its breath. Most people waking up today have absolutely no idea how incredibly close the globe is to a catastrophic full-scale war with Iran. This is not a drill. This is not a political talking point. This is the terrifying reality of what is happening right now. The Middle East is literally on fire, and the shockwaves are heading straight for everyday life. To understand why every single military base is locked down and why the global threat level is flashing red, you have to look at what just happened. The United States and allied forces launched massive, unprecedented military strikes directly into Iranian territory. The goal was to take down top leadership and completely wipe out their military sites. But here is the most alarming part that many people are completely missing. Iran fired back immediately. They did not hesitate. They launched huge barrages of missiles straight at military bases across the region. Bases housing American troops and multiple allied countries are directly in the crosshairs. Why does this matter to the average person buying groceries or driving to work? Because this is no longer a distant conflict in the desert. This is a direct head-on collision between massively armed nations. When the United States strikes the heart of Iran, and Iran launches retaliatory missiles at American troops, the line between a regional conflict and a global disaster completely vanishes. Energy markets are panicking. Global trade routes are freezing up. The entire global economy is tied to the exact waters where naval destroyers and aircraft carriers are currently preparing for battle. The phrase, high alert, gets thrown around a lot in the news, but the reality of what it actually means today must be made crystal clear. It means intelligence agencies are working around the clock, watching for cyber attacks that could shut down power grids, water supplies, or banking systems. Iran has spent decades building a massive network of proxy fighters. The fear, the very real and present danger, is that retaliation will not just be missiles falling in the Middle East. The fear is that retaliation could happen where people least expect it. Security officials are warning that the threat is not just overseas, but right at the doorstep. The world is watching a powder keg explode, and the sparks are flying everywhere. Think about what makes Iran completely different from other nations. The danger is not just their official military standing in uniform. For decades, they have quietly built a massive ghost army, hundreds of thousands of proxy fighters hidden across Lebanon, Yemen, Iraq, and Syria. These militant groups are heavily funded, highly trained, and armed to the teeth. When the order is given, these groups attack as one unified front. They are a loaded spring, and right now the tension is stretched to the absolute breaking point. This is exactly why top military commanders are losing sleep. A war with Iran means fighting multiple heavily armed, unpredictable groups, spreading total chaos across several borders, all at the same time. But the absolute worst-case scenario strikes at the heart of everyday survival. There is a narrow strip of water called the Strait of Hormuz. It might look small on a map, but nearly a quarter of all the oil consumed by the planet travels through this single passageway every day. Iran sits right on the edge. They have the sea mines and fast attack boats to completely choke this waterway closed. If they block that water, the global supply of energy crashes instantly. The price of gas would skyrocket overnight to levels never seen before. Imagine paying triple or quadruple just to fill up your car, heat your home, or deliver basic food to the grocery store. It would crush the global economy in a matter of days. Then there is the ultimate nightmare hanging over this entire crisis: the nuclear threat. For years, intelligence experts have warned that the timeline for Iran to build a nuclear weapon is getting shorter and shorter as diplomacy breaks down. The ultimate fear is that Iran makes a rapid, desperate dash to build the bomb while the world is distracted. The moment that happens, the entire equation changes forever. The United States and allied nations have drawn a hard line in the sand. That creates a terrifying ticking clock, a forced, rapid deadline, where catastrophic military action goes from being a warning to becoming unavoidable reality. Now step back and look at the entire global chessboard. Iran does not stand alone. While cameras are focused on missiles flying in the Middle East, the biggest superpowers on the planet are watching, waiting, and calculating their next move. Countries like Russia and China are deeply tied to Iran economically and militarily. If the United States is forced to pour its military strength and focus into a massive prolonged war in the Middle East, it leaves a dangerous blind spot elsewhere. This is the moment rival nations might use to settle scores, invade borders, or seize contested waters. A full-scale war with Iran is not just a localized desert conflict. It could ignite multiple wars across the planet at the exact same time. And the battlefield is no longer just sand or ocean. The front lines are inside the power plants, the computers, and the critical systems that keep modern society alive. Military officials call this asymmetric warfare. Over the last decade, Iran has built one of the most aggressive and sophisticated cyber capabilities in the world. They know they cannot beat the United States ship for ship or jet for jet, so they target soft systems instead. Hospitals, banks, civilian power grids, and water treatment plants. This is the unseen war happening beneath the surface. A single well-placed cyber attack could plunge entire cities into darkness, wipe out digital financial records, and create mass civilian panic without a single physical bomb being dropped. Meanwhile, thousands of troops stationed across Iraq, Syria, and Jordan are surrounded by hostile proxy militias. They are sitting in the crosshairs. A single miscalculation, one drone slipping past air defenses and hitting a crowded barracks, could trigger overwhelming retaliation. Missiles are already flying. Iran launched coordinated strikes at multiple U.S. bases across several Middle Eastern countries. Air raid sirens are blaring in Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, parts of Doha, and Kuwait. Citizens are rushing into shelters. Commercial air traffic is rerouting. Airlines are abandoning the airspace as military aircraft take control of the skies. Global markets are reacting instantly. Investors are pulling money out. Oil shipments are slowing. Supply chains are tightening. Panic buying is beginning. Grocery shelves are thinning. The situation inside government command centers is reaching maximum tension. Intelligence chatter warns of sleeper cells, operatives potentially hiding in major cities around the world, waiting for a signal. This is the dark reality of modern borderless war. The battleground is everywhere. Stock markets are plunging. Financial institutions are freezing. When oil stops flowing and missiles start flying, the fragile system of global trade begins to fracture. Your savings account, your retirement fund, the price of food, everything is connected. Nuclear-powered submarines are moving into position. Carrier strike groups are locking into formation. Massive cargo ships loaded with tanks and missile systems are steaming toward the region. This is not a short skirmish posture. This is preparation for a long and devastating conflict. Diplomatic channels are falling silent. Emergency meetings are collapsing. Direct communication lines between rival powers are going cold. The safety net that prevented global catastrophe for decades feels like it is tearing apart. People are glued to their screens. Anxiety is spreading. The illusion of distant conflict is shattered. The storm is no longer approaching. The storm is here.